Silent Hill. Boy, some things need to stay silent. This movie need to shut the fuck up.
Silent Hill 2, a.k.a. maybe Resident Evil 4 wasn't all that bad.
That's the thing. I
I don't
thought
know.
when it was done, I was like, you know what? I recognized that the last Resident Evil movie wasn't good. Matter of fact, it was stupid. But at least it did something.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys have finally opened up your eyes and to understand why we get who else gave that
It was
movie?
me.
It was you and
I was like,
yeah.
look, it's doing something. It might be crazy, it might be dumb, but
Yeah.
it's constantly doing something.
No, I
It's
ain't
popping and
homage-
shaking, yeah.
I'm not homage to nothing. Resident Evil, the last one, at least, what was it? What they on, 7 or 8? What
I don't know.
Resolution,
Rebel bullshit, whatever. I read the last Resident Evil movie.
Rhythm
no,
Nation?
it was,
Relatively evil.
yeah. No, it was bad. This is just worse.
Oh, this is much worse.
Much worse.
No, I mean, god damn, this is a movie where you have a girl walking around in a town surrounded by monsters, and she still ain't doing shit. It's boring.
Yeah, there's
boring.
nothing going on. I was shocked by how much. I mean, it's one of those things with a movie like this, and I have to say, just like with Resident Evil, where everything, like the as far as like the monsters that you see, the set design, the atmosphere, they get a majority of that all right, yet they have no idea what to do with it.
Well, you know what? This movie opens like it's 3D, and they keep touting the 3D, and it opens with this great 3D effect of snow or ash,
It's ash,
falling
yeah.
down. Yeah, it's all like it's all in different dimensions. You can touch it, and the movie peaks about right there. Like like nothing in the movie impressed me as much as the very opening scene. I mean, they showed Coase is right. Like they showed the creatures and the set and the costume, character design, set design. I was like, all right, I think I'm in for something.
Yeah, it's
no,
funny.
That's it right there.
How your movie peaks at the opening titles.
Yes.
That's it. Wow, I don't get any better from here.
I mean, the thing is, it's one of those where I go like, I would like to say this might be the worst movie I've seen this year, except I'm not sure it qualifies as a movie because it's not. I mean, there's characters, but there's not really a plot.
Yeah.
There's barely any dialogue.
It's a mess of a plot. I mean,
Oh, wait, you didn't think there was a plot when that male character opened his mouth and dumped a phone book of exposition on us? There was your plot.
yeah, but it was like even though he did that, none of it paid off.
No, you're right.
Or anything.
Well, this I'm not a big. I'm a huge fan of this series. To this day, Silent Hill is still the game that fucked my mind up, man. I used to play that. I mean, it was a game that psychologically disturbed me. I went to therapy after playing that game. It made me depressed, but in a way that was cool because it was a game that actually had great psychological scares that just kept me up at night, just thinking, damn, is that game gonna get up and fuck with me? So, I felt like that game actually put me to another dimension. The movie itself, when it came out, it had some things going for it. It had what is it? Christopher Gans, who was I
think you're right.
who
Yeah,
was
the director.
the director, and Roger Avery, who was a writing partner with Pulp Fiction. With Quentin Tarantino on a few things. I think he was the one that wrote it, and they got a lot of things down that were impressive. There were parts of that movie that looked like the game. They brought in the composer who did the original music. And when I first saw the trailer and that music was playing, let's see if I can find this guy's name right here. It was that was one of the things that I thought, okay, they really are paying attention to a lot of detail here. And that's why when I heard that there was a lot of changes and a lot of shakeups with this movie, it was something that had me concerned.
Well, it's been 6 years.
Well, Christopher Gans said, I'm not gonna come back. Hey, it was cool what I did, but I got other things I want to do. And Roger Avery said, I'm gonna get in my car and kill somebody. He got drunk and he got arrested for vehicular manslaughter. So he's not in the picture here. They brought in the guy that did Solomon Kane, Michael J. Bassett, who I hear Solomon Kane is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I dig that movie.
And Akira Yamaoka.
You having a stroke?
I'm trying to say this name. Akira Yamaoka is the guy that did the music, and I thought, okay, that's cool. They got this guy back for this one. That was the only thing that I thought. All right, maybe this is going to be something that's equal to the last movie. Not that the last movie was great, but I thought when you say that, is there a decent video game movie out there? I say Silent Hill. Decent.
Yeah. You know,
Not bad.
and watching the first Silent Hill, I mean, yeah, they got everything right. Once again, with the atmosphere and, like you said, the music to where they get the original composer. Where when you're watching the movie, it feels like a Silent Hill. You're like, okay, I'm a fan of this, so I know exactly what I'm watching. But with this new movie, I was like, okay, wow, you still have that problem that you have with the first movie. You have all these great ideas, you have the look, but you don't know really how to compose this into an actual movie so the general audience can get an idea of what the hell is going on.
See, and that was my problem with the first one, is it was very much style over substance. It was like, it looked great, there was a lot of creepy atmosphere. Now, granted, I hadn't played the game, but I really liked what they did with kind of building that suspense and that creepy vibe, but the story kind of just left me cold. I was like, oh, okay.
Well,
all right.
this one, they brought a lot of the same people back who were, well, at least two, maybe three.
Well, two of the main cast from the first one.
They brought some people back from the first one, so I'm thinking maybe there's something about this movie that's cool. Sean Bean returns as the husband who was in the last movie, but he wasn't the main character. In the last, Radha Mitchell was the main character in the last movie. If you saw the movie, she got stuck in Silent Hill. Sean Bean is left in the real world, and Radha Mitchell sacrificed herself to stay in Silent Hill while she brought her daughter back. Only one person could leave Silent Hill, and she said, "Well, baby, I guess you go ahead and go back."
Which
to your
doesn't
father.
make any fucking sense because so many people leave Silent Hill in this movie.
Yeah, well, I was going to talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, but God damn it, I was really going to touch it because you were right, man. That's a big point right here.
Because not having played the game or seen the first movie, I really need you to explain to me what I just saw.
Well, in this one,
It's a lot to digest.
Well, in this one, the daughter from the last one, daughter who was on all the posters for the last one with no mouth, she's grown up now to be 18. Adelaide Clemens, some girl from Australia, plays Heather Mason. She's 18 now, and for some reason, there's people who are trying to bring her back to Silent Hill. They need her to come back because she has an evil twin sister there that if they don't join them together, she's going to unleash a shitload of CG on the world. So.
And that's why it's interesting that Silent Hill is in West Virginia, because they both call her daughter and her sister.
It makes that's something that makes sense. Now, outside of that, once it's set up that these people want her back in Silent Hill, they spend the rest of the movie just fucking babbling about some cult and
babbling.
Yeah,
some serious babbling going on there.
So Leon,
where they're looking for a hotel.
yeah, Leon, I see. I'm a fan of the game. I played 4 of these games.
For real?
I was a religious fanatic about this game series, and I cannot tell you what the fuck I just saw. I was hoping that you had a fresh perspective so you could come back and tell me maybe I missed something.
You know how when you're seeing something that's really like dumb or badly done, but there's that one sliver of you that thinks maybe, just maybe, I don't get it. Maybe it's above me, and I'm the one who's the idiot who just can't grasp the
I
concept.
actually had that same thought because I don't play the games either. But then as soon as I thought that, I went, oh no, movie, fuck you anyway.
Well, and my point of that was when they run into Malcolm McDowell.
Oh my God.
That made me go like, oh, okay, no, it's not me.
They've got the creepy
movie.
pedophile uncle chained to the basement of Silent Hill.
Yeah, no. In this movie, there's. Sean Bean is saying, please don't go back to Silent Hill, whatever you do. And he's talking to his wife, Radha Mitchell,
Don't
saying,
go
hey,
back to Silent Hill.
and he's talking to his wife and saying, baby, how come you didn't come back? I need something to fuck. And she's like, hey, well, I couldn't because only 2 of us could leave. I mean, only one of us could leave. And I sacrificed myself so you could raise our daughter. But yet there's people who are leaving Silent Hill, checking into high school, checking out motels, going to the mall. I don't know. Okay, so Roger Avery was not here to write this. They put all the writing duties on Michael J. Bassett, and
Who went,
like, I don't know what the fuck to do with this. They put him in a room with a bunch of games and said, you got 2 days to play this shit and also to finish a script.
I think he was in Silent Hill. That's why it took him 6 years to finally escape.
Yeah, the fog came over his brain when he wrote this script because it's a terrible script.
No, it is, and I mean, I will admit, I did understand what was going on. I mean, it wasn't so complicated yet. What made it ridiculous was how it just, with the actors, they were really trying hard to juggle with this idea of what all this meant. This whole idea of Silent Hill, about, this Illuminati type of group that are, trying to find this girl. And I'm like, okay, you guys obviously don't know what the fuck you're talking about, because obviously it seems like you're just reading from the script. I mean, I've seen Sean Bean And a lot of these they have like the kid who's in Game of Thrones. He was the guy who actually who was one of the leads in the movie. I don't know if you recognized him.
Oh, Sean Bean, yeah.
No.
Yeah, I was about to say they weren't taking her to Silent Hill. They're taking her to one of them kingdoms in Game of Thrones because there's two people here.
He's on. Is he Jon Snow?
Game of Thrones. He's the guy that gets sent out to the.
Wait, that is him.
That's right. That's right. The whole time I was like, he looks so familiar, but he must play a douchebag in one of these.
But he's so wooden.
Yes,
It's one of the curses of Silent Hill that it strips you of your acting ability.
Kit Harington. The name of that guy who plays Jon Snow on Game of Thrones is Kit Harington, and Sean Bean is, of course, it was Sparks. What was his name? Stark, whatever. Sparky, whatever.
That's why he doesn't want to go back to Silent Hill. He's like, the longer I'm in this movie, the more likely I'm going to get my fucking head chopped off. Here's another thing I don't understand. If Silent Hill is supposed to be like this evil place, kind of like hell on earth, the entrance to this other dimension, should it be that easy to wander into?
Right.
Like, they're basically on a main highway, and it's like Stuckey's, porn theater. Oh, look, it's Silent Hill. Oh, we need gas anyway. Let's stop here. Like, shouldn't it be harder to get to?
Apparently, if you're a truck driver, I don't know.
What I didn't get in the beginning, like it starts with Sean Bean and his daughter. He's all like, "Oh, honey, your black roots are showing. You remember to bleach your hair because we're like running like they're in the witness protection program." But he's not changing his hair color. He looks exactly as he did before.
There's a lot of things that they do in this movie that don't make sense, and I don't want to keep referring to the game because this has no real bearing on how I feel about the movie. I'm feeling the way about the movie because the movie is shit. What worked about the game is that you're a character who's alone most of the time, who's wandering around this darkness, this evil world, but you are trying to figure out what's happening to you as you go along. You're picking up clues along the way. It's a scary mystery. It's a creepy mystery.
It's a game of discovery.
Yeah. And in this movie, Brian, you're right. When Jon Snow steps on the screen, he's just telling everything that's happening. Where I'm from, this is what you can expect. I mean, he just pretty much just said, fuck it. Here's the script right here.
It's like soap opera mechanics. It's like I have to explain the entire scene to you so we can just brood for 20 minutes.
And once you lay out all of that exposition and all this background, there's nothing to discover. So what you're left with is a character who is just wandering through a movie that has nothing else to tell you. I mean, the movie would actually, look, I'll be honest. This would make a great spook house if I could actually get up and walk through it.
Yeah, no,
but sitting down as someone who's watching a movie, it's almost like watching an actress who they're following her with a camera and they just let her loose on the set and she doesn't know where the fuck she's going.
Right, they might as well have made this a found footage film.
Yeah,
it's like she doesn't know where she's going. We don't know where she's going.
I think they made the set a maze and they let her go and she can't find her fucking way out.
I think she was looking for the script throughout the entire movie. But
oh no, they laid the script out right before.
I mean, and it's sad. I mean, because this is a series that it's another one that Hollywood manages to fumble the ball with. Because I mean, like you said, you got so much source material. You have so much story that a writer can actually go through and make sense. But I mean, they just don't want to. And I don't know if that's just the material itself, where it's just so confusing. But I mean, they bring in another character who is in the first movie, Deborah Unger. She played the mother of this demon, and she was practically saying the same lines that she said from the first movie, just to fill you in. Since
I actually thought it was stock footage from the first movie.
Yeah.
I didn't realize she was actually in this one as well.
You should never have come back, because now you've given the Order what they could never have. A way to destroy Alessa. And you.
Where is my father?
There is nothing you can do to save him without damning yourself.
I don't care. Just tell me what you know.
They do the sinful mistake they make on all these video game movies. They put in a bunch of imagery just so the fans can say, oh, I recognize that. I mean, there's a point. See, Leon, this is something that probably would have amused you had you had played the games.
Okay.
Because at the beginning, Sean Bean gives her a birthday present, gives his daughter a birthday present. Like, here you go, honey. And she opens it up and she's like, oh, thanks, Dad. It's a piece of clothing that people will recognize from the game. It's like, you don't need to.
Oh, is that what the significance of that was?
That's all it was. There was no. They introduced.
Oh my God!
It's a sleeveless jacket. It's like a vest that he.
Yeah.
For anybody who's played Silent Hill 3, that's where this movie actually takes most of its source material from.
Wow. You would if they stopped the movie so he could pull out that jacket again.
It's almost as if she opens her gift and it's like achievement unlocked.
Yeah. It was almost as if they introduced that vest like another character.
Yeah.
The movie stopped and said, "In introducing the vest." It's a fucking Old Navy jacket, man.
Yeah. When she put it on, she grew 2 sizes.
I mean, even to the point where she goes to school and the kids have to stop and make fun of it.
Which makes no goddamn sense. Oh, where do you get your clothes? Goodwill?
Yeah.
There is nothing about what she's wearing that looks like it's from Goodwill.
That dialogue, I was wondering, was this like made in 1980 or something? This dialogue, was it written in 1980? Because that's all kids are wearing these days. Are clothes
exactly.
from Goodwill. It makes no sense in this.
Well, it's
2012.
It's that there's certain things that happen to high schools when they're portrayed in movies, in Hollywood movies. Either the adults, it's as if Peanuts have grown up and all the adults are gone. You know? It's the Peanuts high school. This the kids exist. There's no adults around. Or the adults are around, but they don't give a shit. I mean, because in class, and Heather gets up to tell the class, I'm always moving, I'm always doing this, and some bitch interrupts her saying, "Yeah, well, what's the deal? You get your clothes at Goodwill."
and you expect the teacher to say like, hey, that's about enough of that. Don't come on, knock it off. And she's just sitting there smiling like she's on dopamine.
Well, Leah,
you gonna take that, bitch?
well, Leah, that teacher said they ain't gonna fuck with me. I'm gonna stand back here and keep my mouth shut. Hey, the heat's on her.
I also love in that scene how many different ways the two new kids find to tell the class that they're new. I'm new. I'm from a different town. I'm new. I don't know anybody. Like, that's what new means.
But see, that's what they don't know what they're doing with this. They don't know what to do to stretch this out into a movie. Like I said, you are one lone character who runs into occasionally other people in the game, but you're alone most of the time. So to make this into a movie, they just cram stuff in to do, and they don't know how to handle it. There's a mystery that's introduced. Somebody gets murdered. The police are there, and they say, we got to follow this girl. But once they go to Silent Hill, you don't see those motherfuckers anymore at all. They dropped that right there.
The bullshit.
That murder went unsolved.
I have not seen such thorough police work since the original Last House on the Left.
But you know what? Now it makes sense why nobody's discovered this fucking Silent Hill. They got this group troop of a police department.
I like the way the police department say, "Oh, we got a clue. Ready to get back up here." That's it. You don't see backup. You don't see. They're not back again. That is all. And I'm surprised I mean, even for somebody who's never played the games to have sloppy script writing like this, that's just horrible.
It's sad and it's embarrassing. But I tell you what, I mean, we said everything. I mean, there's so much. We can go on all night about what is wrong with this movie.
Oh, are we not going to?
I have a couple hours, man.
Okay, well, hey, fuck it. Let's bust out the beer. Let's do it. Let's do it. No, but I mean, I will give credit where credit is due. Like I said, the atmosphere looks incredible. I mean, I don't know who did the cinematography for this film or even did the set dressing, but all that they did in spades. I mean, even the look of these creatures. The look of the creatures, I don't know who worked on those, but at least the practical ones that they showed, I thought those are probably like the most inventive looking creatures. And I'm sure they probably took them straight from the game. I've only played the first one, but I'm sure they taken a lot of these creatures from those games. But I was like, man, I wish more horror movies would get more creative with.
Well, they were going to get the original designer to come in and do it, and he said
he read that script.
He said, "Y'all ain't bringing me back to this."
Fuck that shit.
No, he's not. I forgot. He had other obligations. Yeah, he had to work on something good. But the team that they brought in, they were actually they were true to the imagery of the game. Listen, I when I was watching, I said this is almost the equivalent. I say almost because it's not as good. But this is the equivalent of almost watching a Godzilla film. Now, people are saying, "What the hell do you mean by that?"
Are you talking about?
I'll tell you. Yeah, I will tell you.
I know where you're going with this.
You know where I'm going because at its bare minimum, if you want to watch this as just a monster movie, as monsters fighting each other, just a creature feature, or if you catch it on TV, it might be cool to just see it like that. Mm-hmm. But if you are going in there looking for a real movie, this is not. This is a movie that has a beginning, it has an end. It don't have a middle because nothing happens in the middle. You're going to be wandering around just like that girl in the fucking movie, try to figure out what's happening with this.
Yeah, it's one of those movies where I would love to like take all the greatest parts of it, all the best visually, striking parts of it, and make like a death metal video with it. I mean, where you
I don't know, it'd be long enough for one song.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you got to pad it with another 2 minutes of material.
I know some death metal songs that are 2 minutes long, so don't worry, don't worry about that. But visually, it's great to look at, just like that first one. But like my problems I had with the first one, that story, it just goes absolutely nowhere.
I will even say that they go too far with some of the imagery in this movie. I mean, I thought the creatures looked cool, but when you are walking down the street and you look at a homeless guy and his face turns into an ass, and I mean,
yeah, man, it was like somebody just sewed an asshole shut and shoved it in a leather suit.
It's like somebody, it was like that dude.
And that suit produced this movie.
Yeah, it was like that homeless man's face was an asshole, and they spread preparation H on it because it just puckered up.
I'm sorry, but I don't know how many homeless guys you've met, but usually when I run into them, they're assholes. So I get that image.
But not literally.
That's what I see.
No. There was some other stuff, things that they just got really cheesy with some of the visuals here. Some of the stuff that is not in the game. Some stuff that you would see at some of those Christian horror haunted house,
at a hell house,
like the hell houses, because they go through. They want to show the mob being turned into hell gradually as you proceed. It gets more hellish, and you pass by a fast food market where some guy's cutting meat off a human being, and then there's another guy in the kitchen who's frying it up like a hamburger.
Well, that looked like complete haunted house bullshit. Where I'm like, come on,
haunted house.
It almost would have worked if the guy cooking the flesh wasn't going like audibly going.
Ping, on the back.
A guy came up and said, "I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a human hamburger today."
And then a demon waitress comes up and is like, "Kiss my grits! What's going on?"
I will say there was one cool scene in the movie. There was one real cool scene, and I because I thought this is actually suspenseful. And it was when you can look at the scene on YouTube. It's up there. They can't even hide that. It's a scene where Kid Harrington, whatever, is tied up to the gurney.
Oh yeah.
And the nurses are about to
that was badass.
Slice him up, and I thought, okay, now that's actually a scene where it's visually cool. These monsters, these creatures look badass, and it's tense.
It's one of those scenes where I'm like, I wish I could play this. I wish I could play like the game version of what this.
But you can't.
And
it's
I never
like watching
will.
your friend play. He only plays for 2 minutes before putting the controller down and saying, "Well, I'm gonna watch a shitty movie now.
Right.
You gonna watch it with me?" You, Leon, you're not missing nothing, man. This is bullshit right here. What you saw up there, like I said, I played all these games, and I'm just as baffled as you are. This is pure D bullshit.
All right, well, I'm actually even more baffled because even after watching this, I'm like, why would I ever want to play a game that's anything close to this right here? Even with the creatures that look cool, they would look cool at first, but then the way they kept flashing back to them after a while, I was like, you know what? This ain't that great. It just wasn't doing anything. It's like a lot of video game movies get complained about. Their complaints is that, it's like a bunch of cutscenes. But I felt like this wasn't even the cutscenes, because cutscenes kind of tell a story. This was more like the screensaver, waiting for you to either load a game or play a new game. And for that almost 2 hours, I mean, it's really
It's
like
an hour and a half.
Is it an hour and a half?
Yeah, you just got sucked into the silence.
It's somewhere between an hour and a half and 13 years before this movie ends.
I honestly don't. I just don't have enough. I mean, y'all are optimistic, or maybe you have fond memories of the game or something. But I don't really have anything good to say about this. I almost felt bad for the actors in it, but I was like, you know what? Y'all still contributed in my misery of sitting in here watching this. So fuck you and to this movie. Yeah, as Bela Lugosi would say, fuck you.
Yeah, and Brian, before you go on, I want to mention two things here about the acting. The acting, as you mentioned, co-host, is for accomplished actors that we have here, they are directed to be some of the most melodramatic actors in the worst way possible. At the beginning, Sean Bean had to look into a mirror, I love you. And there's a part where Kid Harington actually, the way he turned around and said a line, he turned around, he pretty much did that melodramatic Shakespeare actor. He had his back turned to us, and he turned around. He's like, "I am a child of the cult."
I know. I can see the Game of Thrones directors going, "Stop that shit! All right, stop it."
Hey, don't come back here with that shit. I don't know what you're doing over there on Silent Hill, but don't come back to Game of Thrones with that. And I know. Look, I know these actors out here they have to get paid. I know that, but God, Malcolm McDowell, quit. that dude is the term of a fucking whore now, man. I mean,
no, he's the curse of movies now. I mean, I remember there was a time when I used to get excited when I saw him in a horror movie. Now when I see him, I'm like, oh fuck. You know,
there's a scene where he's
gonna roll down. Into
he's chained up in a dungeon and he's acting crazy, laughing. He's all hairy and sweaty, and I'm thinking. That's what they really should do to Malcolm McDowell. Lock his ass up before he makes another shitty movie. This guy, how many shitty movies in a row has he done?
Yeah, I know. You can't count that high.
He's done too many.
On his IMDb page, it goes for 3 pages.
Really? I wouldn't doubt that. And it's gotten to the point he ain't even acting no more. He just comes in and does this.
I know. He is a beacon for get ready for the shit. I mean, that's really he really is now.
We got a new review on Spill. Malcolm McDowell's coming in. I get this movie. Am I in it? Better than sex. Put that motherfucker back in the base.
He's a canary in a coal mine. Like, if you're not sure, like, is this movie good? I don't know. You check the credits. If you see his name in it, you go like, it's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Never mind. What else is on the
Canary in the coal mine? Well, that's when the canary comes out and says, get this motherfucker out of here. I can't take him no more. He's fucking up my coal mine.
I'm actually thinking of changing IMDb to the Internet McDowell database, so that actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah, this is. Let me start with a couple of compliments before I shit on this movie. No, I got nothing. I mean, I do appreciate that they brought back the pointy-headed dude from the first one, the guy that looks like frat brother got drunk and fell into a sundial. I mean, no, that's awesome, and I'm glad that he's back and he's fighting.
Excuse me, Brian, you were referred to him as Pyramid Head.
I'm sorry, Pyramid Head is my favorite IPA. And he's fighting a Cenobite in this movie for no reason, which is awesome, and that's at least a thing.
That's a highlight.
But my problem with this movie is that it's a dream logic horror film, which I always get concerned about because I love it when, like the Argento movies, the Italian stuff, they use a lot of dream logic where you just see things that happen and the imagery is kind of takes precedence over the narrative, and that's fine. But I always worry that some filmmakers are going to use that as an excuse to make a movie that makes no goddamn sense, and for the reason of, at least we have monsters and visuals, and that's exactly what this movie is. And I don't understand why it has no consistency with the first one in terms of the rules of who can and can't leave Silent Hill, and the fact that she's being plagued by monsters everywhere she goes kind of makes her decision to go back there a lot easier because it's like, well, I'm going to be haunted either way, so sure, why not? But yeah, it's lazy, it's poorly constructed, it's boring as all hell, and yeah, this movie's some old bullshit.
Yeah, and you guys have said it all, and it sucks. I mean, it really does. It sucks. And with where we're going with, prosthetics and everything, I hate it when I see it done right. I hate it when I see set design get done right for horror movies. That in other horror movies where I'm like, well, the story was great, but it seems like everything else was kind of lacking. It makes me kind of irritated. But yeah, this had, honestly, as far as story, forget about it. If you're a fan of Silent Hill, you're going to be greatly disappointed. Sure, you'll see images that you've seen a billion times on your video games that you're so familiar with. When you see it on the screen, it's not that impressive anymore. The fact they brought it to real life, sure, but oh man, the acting is atrocious, and I can't really blame the actors. It's poor directing, and it's just a poor script. So I'm giving it some. Yeah, this is some Shitty Hill bullshit, and it's bullshit.
Some Shitty Hill bullshit.
Oh,
is that like Benny Hill?
So, co-host and Corey, as fans of the game, you weren't even impressed by that one CG monster that we'll just have to call Spider-Mannequin?
Spider-Mannequin?
Yeah.
No, that was. I'm glad you brought that up. No, that was something I wish they would have left on the cutting room floor. Even though I thought it was interesting that they brought that thing back at the very end of the credits. It's almost like the same thing they did for what was that alien movie Skyline or
Skyline.
Yeah, where there's like what happened after the movie was done,
right,
where
right.
you see this entire sequence where it's once again it's the cool thing I wish they honestly would have had way more of, where it was monster fighting monster. And there was like this whole, Corey, you left, but there's a sequence.
I saw it.
Yeah, you saw it?
Yeah.
But you stayed a bit? Okay. But there was a sequence where I'm like, how come we couldn't fucking see that? Why do I have to see, like you said, Leon, the screenshots of this sequence where it would have been cool to watch? You know?
Yeah, that's another thing. They got characters. I actually thought that creature looked cool, but had it been maybe in a Pixar movie or something because it was so CG.
Yeah.
That mean you talking about that mannequin at the end?
You want to see it going through some kid's door to get scares with Sully and
No, that
Mike Wazowski.
That mannequin. Yeah, there's a cool creature in the movie that's made up out of all these mannequin pieces, and you can see people being turned into mannequins. Apparently, people who wandered into Silent Hill that they don't like to explain where they came from or who they are, and they're gone in 5 minutes. But
Took the wrong turn to Albuquerque.
yeah, I was gonna get some milk and end up in Silent Hill.
seriously, it's way too easy to get to Silent Hill.
Yeah.
I was trying to find Arby's. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, shit. People come out from Silent Hill, go buy groceries, and go back. You know.
Oh, we got to review this movie. It's only playing in Silent Hill. Well,
No, that creature actually looked. No, that creature looked cool, but it looked like something that should have been hanging out with Woody and Buzz Lightyear. You know?
It looked like it should have been in that fucking movie 9. Remember that?
Something like that. No, it totally didn't seem to fit in this movie. Yeah, I don't know, man. If they let me know if y'all are gonna make a third one, because I'll gladly go break Roger Avery out of jail if y'all want to.